I'm a San Diego native, but believe it or not, I have never been to the USS Midway. But that changes now because we're exploring this #1 military ship museum in the world right here on the waterfront of beautiful San Diego. And I'm going to find out if it truly is a must see, especially for families visiting or living in San Diego. If you have kids that love ships and aircraft, maybe you know that you are going to have a hit with this outing. My kids are not necessarily that. They were hesitant of going to a museum. So I'm going to see by the end, let's see together if I can convince them that this is a cool, fun outing. In the very beginning, there's a parking lot right there, the Navy Pier parking lot, and it is a very reasonable pricing. You're gonna wanna be there for more than 2 hours, so pay for that 2 to 6 hours for $15 and you are set. At least that's how much it was at the time of this recording in 2025. Okay, because we ended up spending probably 3 hours on the ship and we could have spent more, but that was closing time. It closes at 5 and they were shooing us out pretty much, or we were shooing ourselves out so we weren't a burden on people wrapping up. And then we went to dinner. We got to do like fun things around downtown. So just go for the 2 to 6 hours. You have to commit ahead of time. It's not like a pay as you go. It is right there. The parking lot is adjacent to the entrance. Super, super easy, especially for families with strollers, friendly to all of that. Ticketing, super easy. If you go in October, kids free month, friends, one adult and you can take kids for free, right? One paying adult. So take advantage of October if you are in the area. Right when you step on board, you realize how massive this thing is. It carried over 4,500 crew members at its peak. It's basically a floating city. There are over 30 restored aircraft on here, and you can actually climb into some of them. We'll go take a look. As soon as you walk in, they give you this audio tour. The audio tour is really neat. It's free, it's included, so grab it. And I love that they have a kid version too. So they tell you the yellow is for adults, the green is for kids, and you can just scan your little audio thing and you are good to go. They are prominent in the places that you might want to listen to something. Really helpful, really obvious. You can't miss it. And the kids absolutely loved it. Some that are more history buffs were going in, listening to all the things. You hold it up to your ear like a phone, tell you how to use it. Everything is super well laid out, easy to understand, easy to know where to go. A few places we went, ooh, this is like a maze. Which way do we go? Because they both said tour continues in 2 different directions, but one would have been a dead end and you have to come back anyway after you see that room. But they made it really family and kid friendly, which I absolutely love. If you have children, stop by the visitor center and grab the little junior pilot form. It has a few questions. People are really helpful with getting the answers for you or like guiding you to where you would find it because you might have to listen to some of them. Some places it already had the answers there, but it gets them involved. It gets them engaged. It's like a little scavenger hunt for kids and they learn things along the way and they see things along the way. Now, mind you, if you have kids like mine, they might be really eager to finish and they might like try to rush you through. So take that balance on your own, but make sure you pick up your little badge. If you do the junior pilot program, the folks that were volunteering, again, were very, very kind. Even though we were leaving a little past time, they made sure that everybody in our group that wanted it got their little flight pins, had a good time. Wonderful, wonderful volunteers. I love that there are these engaging things for kids. There's so much hands-on stuff throughout the whole ship. I loved it. There are things like they teach you about knots in the section where they have the anchor, they have the chains, they have how they worked on the ship, and they show you the anchors. And there are so many things that are neat for adults and kids alike. Really interactive, gets you immersed into the experience, which I have not actually been on a different USS ship. And friends that have, and the wonderful docents that are all throughout the ship explaining things to you. They have worked on these ships before and served before, so they know so much information, wealth of knowledge. You can ask and you can just talk to them for hours and hours, but they will give you information and walk you through things and show you things. They're great with kids, but There's so much to learn for all ages. But back to the knots, there was a station where they had 8 knots, and you can try to make all these different kinds because they had the ropes underneath. It was cool for the kids to do. The parents were sitting alongside them trying to do these things too. We're all learning. And then, of course, you have to go up to the flight deck. It has absolutely beautiful views of downtown San Diego and the Coronado Bridge and all the different areas. So just make your way all around. But there's also all the planes are up there and you can sit in some of them. One is like a fighter plane that you sit in. There are planes that you can walk through. They all have different functions. They all have different audio, so you can learn about the different planes. Fantastic. They're spread throughout. They also talk about what other people would have done as jobs on the ship. So there's like phones, that people can play with. And there's these rotary phones that some kids have never seen these, right? All they've seen are cell phones, maybe. So they get to play with all these different things, typewriters, all of the history. This one opened up right after World War II. So it was in 45, it went active, and 92, it was taken out of service. So it spanned a wide range of time that our children have not seen a lot of the technology that was used in then. And I thought it was really cool to go into essentially the communication center, or the like center where they are looking at all of the intelligence, all of the information coming in, and determining, right? So you get to sit in these chairs, you get to make decisions. There's even a game where you can play. Of course, it's only like one group at a time, and there was a group that was dominating it the whole time. So our kids didn't get to participate. We didn't get to participate. But it was really cool where you were making these decisions. They gave you scenarios, and you also could move things around on the screen because it was a touch screen thing. It was really, really neat. And I wish we could have had more time with it, but we were running out of time. And like I said, people were there for a long time. So we didn't get that opportunity for our group. But there are so many interactive things. I hope this gets the point to you that it is not just walking through a museum. This is hands-on, making the ship life come to life. You can also sit in these briefing rooms, essentially, or training rooms. So you're sitting in these chairs. It has labels of this is where the XO sits, this is where the safety person sits, all of that. So you can kind of pick your chair and sit and almost live that life, because there's also a TV that is talking about some of the things that happened. Kids also got to experience the bunks. Those bunks were tight, and those showers were tight. So if you have been on a cruise ship, you might have come close to experiencing this, but to live on this for a long time, right? You are getting close to those neighbors, you know about each other, you put up your pictures of your loved ones because they're away for a long time from their loved ones. And I think this really brings it home. And then I thought it was funny. There were prices on some of the things that you can buy from the ship store, right? 10 cents for, I can't remember, like some of these things are like 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents. You get the sense of the history and the amount of pricing increases, inflation, all of that. These are all just really fun things to talk about with your kids. If your kids are really little, it's probably more of a visual, tactical, fun thing. For the kids as they get older, you can talk about a lot more. So I can see how this is an exhibit, this is a museum, this is an experience that can grow with your child, or that you would want to come back to multiple times, because there is so much there, friends. For those that want to go even above and beyond, this is an extra, but there is a flight simulator. So if you want to get that full experience, it's $20 for 2 people, and you go flight simulators. For those of us that are getting a little older and you might get sick from motion, that might not be for you, but there's also a cafe, there's also a jet shop, there's also things that you could do there on board to take a rest, or if you want to take some souvenir home, absolutely, that is there for you. So the USS Midway also had a theater that had a 15-minute film on the Battle of the Midway and why it was important and why this carrier was named after that battle. There is so much to learn, and whether you sit there or whether you don't and do all the other things, an abundance of stuff to look at. So give yourself enough time. Like I said, we had 3 hours and it still felt like we could do a lot more. It was the longest serving aircraft carrier in the US Navy. So you can see the impact, how many people it carried. It gives you all the stats of how many meals were served. 13,000 meals a day, guys. That is a lot. It became a museum in 2004, and it's now one of San Diego's top attractions, drawing over 1 million visitors a year. So, did my kids like it?
Did you have fun, bud?
Yeah.
Did the adults love it? Absolutely. Highly, highly recommend if you are going to San Diego or if you are here, if you live here and you've never been, it is a must go, must check it out. Even if you think you might not like it, give it a try because I'm not a huge history buff. I'm not a huge Navy person, knowing all the details, but I learned so much and it was so interesting to see the life of a Navy ship. Thank you for everybody that serves. Thank you for everybody that puts their life out there, helps keep us safe. Thank you. Go check it out. I guarantee that you will get something out of it and that your kids will also get something out of it. And if you want more things to do in San Diego, head here. I'll see you in the next video.